doucheBagul, Drunken Rant.
Hey YouTube, it's doucheBagul. I just wanted to talk to you guys about a movie I recently watched. It was the horror movie Sinister, starring Ethan Hawke and many other people who I forget at the moment because I have been drinking some delicious Tullamore Dew. This will probably show up backwards on the YouTube video. I just realized I'm a poop face. Whatever. I've been drinking that. I've been drinking a little bit of Natty Light, which is disgusting still. This is still from the Ocean City trip, so it's a relic of better times, and it is now becoming a relic of worse times. Anyway, so I just wanted to talk to you guys. I'm a huge horror movie buff. Morgan and I watch horror movies like a million times a week. We've probably seen every major horror movie that's come out in the past 20 years or 30 years. It's nuts, it's crazy, and it's awesome because I like having a girlfriend who likes watching horror movies with me. But we saw Sinister. We were really big fans of the movie Insidious, so we thought that Sinister, from its trailer and its previews, if you guys haven't seen them, they were really, really cool. They looked really awesome. They looked like they had the same kind of atmosphere as Insidious did, which was a really, really awesome movie to us because it sort of embraced like an old school ghost story and combined it with like modern effects and like a really cool sort of concept. The second half of that movie kind of sucked balls, but overall it was a pretty sweet horror movie because most don't turn out to be very good. So we were watching Sinister the other day, and turns out that it's not really anything like Insidious. And just to warn you guys who didn't read the description below, this rant is going to have some spoilers because, the movie could have been so much better. And if I was a movie writer or movie director, I know there's certain constraints that Hollywood has that, it can't accommodate for everything. But there were some things in that movie that were just so drawn out and pointless and sort of just took away from the efficiency of the movie. So I'm just going to talk about a couple of the points that I had when I was watching the movie that I thought they could have changed. So the movie starts off with Ethan Hawke and his family moving across country, and they move to this house that had a murder take place there. Ethan Hawke is a true crime writer, and as a true crime writer, he's super interested in murder and death and destruction and doom and horrible things that I would never ever... Why would you do that, dude? It's stupid. But anyway, so he moves his family into this stupid murder house, and obviously creepy shit starts happening. It's terrible. Basically, this house is haunted by... actually, it turns out to be like film, like some sort of demon possessing film, basically. Lives in the house, and he spreads his evil fear by making people find the film and watch it. So Ethan Hawke, like a dumbass, finds this box of film, and he watches it. That's something normal people might do, but the dumbass part comes from the fact that he watches these, and they turn into these stupid freaking snuff films where people are getting, like, their throats slit, and they're getting hanged, and they're getting hit by lawnmowers in the face, and you're like, dude, like, give this to the police. You're a fucking idiot. So he doesn't, because it's a horror movie, and that would be a really short, stupid horror movie if he did that. So, like, somewhere closer to the back half of the movie, he starts talking to Vincent D'Onofrio, who is, his character is a professor of, like, ancient religions. And you find out that the demon that's haunting the tapes, that's in, each take of these families being murdered, is this old school deity of, like, old world religions named Bagul. For the purpose of this video, we'll call him doucheBagul because he loves to show up in really fucking stupid spots, and he scares the shit out of you, and it sucks. But besides that, I mean, most of the movie, it doesn't rely on jump scares. That was one thing that I loved about it, was it actually relied more on atmosphere. It had a really old school sort of slow burn feel through most of the movie. There wasn't a lot of gore at all. Actually, there was hardly any. Basically, what I'm saying is that the movie didn't have a lot of cheap gimmicks that, forced the scare factor way through the roof, or whatever the hell Hollywood's been doing these days with their stupid remakes and horrible original concepts that are barely above, like, a sci-fi original. It is awful to watch some of those. But anyway, this movie, Sinister, it was not without its flaws. It had a great concept. I liked the story. I liked the characters for the most part, despite the fact that the main character is kind of a dumbass. But besides that, the movie had a lot of big holes. It had a lot of wasted potential. That was the biggest thing for me, was every time I watch a horror movie, I kind of rewrite it in my head. I really hope that maybe, Hollywood listens to its fans, because I'm sure I'm not the only person who has these issues. And if you're someone who does have these issues, please feel free to leave the comments below, letting me know what your issues were with Sinister. So to start off, my biggest problem probably was the fact that Vincent D'Onofrio's character didn't have a bigger role. He was kind of just thrown in there because they were like, oh, hey, look at this guy. He was totally on Law & Order, Criminal Minds. Super fucking awesome. But besides that, the added star power, it wasn't really needed. His character kind of came in and said exactly what needed to be said to push the plot forward, but it wasn't anything that Ethan Hawke couldn't have Wikipedia'd. It was really kind of pointless to have him come in and say like 4 lines. What would have been way cooler is if they had taken Vincent D'Onofrio's character and made him into the villain somehow. I mean, how awesome would it have been if during that last scene where Ethan Hawke is talking to Vincent D'Onofrio, instead of him being like, oh, the demon doucheBagul lives in all the images, you should, know that the cultures burned them and, obviously he wasn't destroyed. And then Ethan Hawke, instead of going up to the attic immediately afterwards and being like, oh, there's a big box of these footage shit again, and he finds out that all the kids are the ones who are killing everybody, he is talking to Vincent D'Onofrio, and Vincent D'Onofrio's like, by the way, enjoy your coffee. And Ethan Hawke's like, what do you mean? Oh! And he passes out, and then he, before he passes out, the screen starts flickering, and Vincent D'Onofrio's face turns into doucheBagul's. How freaking crazy awesome twist would that have been? That would have been freaking banging. I would have loved that movie. I would have taken that movie out to dinner, and then never called it again. But anyway, so that would have been a really sick twist to the plot. Totally missed potential from the movie makers. Instead, they gave us this stupid, he goes up to the attic, he finds the film, he finds out the children are evil, and then, he gets drugged and he gets killed by his kid. It's been done. It's been done. I don't know if you guys have ever seen The Omen. It's been done. Okay, so that's my biggest issue with it. Vincent D'Onofrio should have had a way bigger role. That would have been super cool, instead of just adding in this stupid, unnecessary auxiliary character. The second big issue that I had with the movie was the fact that they revealed that Bagul is this deity who can live inside of images. He's basically an immortal who can possess an image, and once you see him, you're basically screwed. How cool would it have been if, while Ethan Hawke is watching videos of himself, he's maybe watching, Good Morning America or something, and he notices in the background of this old freaking VHS, there is, in the crowd, doucheBagul just standing there watching him, meaning that either doucheBagul has been watching him his entire life, or because Ethan saw him in the original tapes where he's in the pool and all that creepy shit, he's now possessed all of Ethan's history, or any sort of image, because that's the whole point of him. He's supposed to show up in images, which kind of brings me to my next point, the webcam stuff. He totally should have shown up, in the background of, Vincent D'Onofrio's office or some shit like that, because that would have been, creepy as hell, and it totally would have fit the motif. And I don't know why they didn't really just enhance that idea anymore. They were just like, oh, by the way, he shows up in film, but he apparently only shows up in Super 8 film, like a old school asshole. So it just kind of deleted some of the fear factor for me. I think it would have been way cooler if they'd utilized sort of the modern technology a little bit more. I know there was that one scene where there's the still of him, and he's on Ethan Hawke's desktop, and his face turns towards the camera, and he's all like, doucheBagul. And then Ethan Hawke doesn't even see it because, that would ruin the surprise, I guess. I don't know. Regardless, though, they needed to capitalize on that idea a little bit more. That was really my second biggest issue with the movie. Really, when I think about it, it was a fairly solid movie. I mean, I don't want to pan it completely. it had a lot of missed potential, but I really only had those two really big issues with the movie. It was set up pretty well. It, like I said, it was like an old school horror take, which was great. It sort of harkened back to sort of like a John Carpenter, or even more recently like a Ty West sort of burn, where nothing seemed to be happening at first, and then all of a sudden things got really, really creepy. And there were moments that made me kind of jump a little bit. The jump scares weren't that cheap. It wasn't like there was pointless ones. The ones that happened seemed to have, some sort of context to them, which was great. But I mean, besides that, I just kind of wish they'd fleshed out the idea of Bagul as this super evil demon who's omnipresent. And I really wish that they had made Vincent D'Onofrio's character bigger, not just because I'm a Vincent D'Onofrio fanboy, but because of the fact that it just would have made more sense. It wouldn't have been this sort of empty space within the movie. Anyway, guys, I really hope that you enjoyed the movie. I'm sorry that I kind of stumbled around during this one a lot. I've been drinking a lot of whiskey, and I've been drinking a lot of this crap, and I'm going to drink some more right now. If you guys have any comments, please leave them below. Please be sure to hit like. Please be sure to subscribe. I love that you guys are checking it out. I've gotten over 100 views in less than a week on 2 really shitty quality videos. So I'm super happy that you guys are checking it out, and it was good seeing you.